says 78% return, 77.9.
Yeah, 78. I like the quality of everything. I could tell that you put a lot of your heart into this product.
Yeah.
We're pressing some, it's called Puro Loco.
Archive.
Yeah, archive seed. Yeah, grease it up.
So we have to really flatten that hash out really good.
And then you get it in there while it's greasy. It's gonna be damn near impossible.
Yeah,
Is it?
So it needs to be like a more stable resin.
Like a sand, like
a sand.
Yeah, like coming straight out the hash and pour it in. You can flatten it out.
It needs to stay.
I mean, we could we could break that in half and put it in 2 bags. It does press the rectangle bags as well. You just fold over the pouches one more time.
Gotcha.
So I mean, we can press it for you. That's not a problem. But it definitely won't be what you're going to be doing production at.
Yeah, for sure.
I see.
So really, there's no such thing as burnt oil. What that is that the higher melting THCVs and higher melting terpenes that finally hit that temperature over a long time or over heavy pressure. So, because more pressure over time equals more heat. So, if you use a hotter temperature, everything inputting your data evolves around your temperature. So it evolves around your safe zone, meaning the time of when resin turns into rosin that prevent plate decarboxylation, that safe zone. So if you do a low temperature, you need a longer safe zone. So you need a minute safe zone to make sure that that resin has not went over 8 pounds per square inch to the bag to like 66 psi. You want to make sure it stays under 66 psi for about that minute. So you want to ramp up pressure over that minute period. And as long as that's safe, then you're going to go ahead and press it, but not too fast with the slow and low, right? You're going to then extend that press out for 4 or 5 more minutes, so it's longer. So it's 5-minute, 6-minute presses. So you're looking at that 8-minute turnaround time is more likely. But for production, if you use that temperature to get that oil resonate from resin to rosin within 30 seconds, and you're off of those plates in 2 minutes, now you're talking about way more presses, way more throughput.
And it's actually
same
technically
oil,
off
same
the plates faster.
Yes. So you're basically using the temperature to your advantage with dialing in your recipe. So it's all about your recipe, and what you're preventing is plate decarboxylation, whether you're doing hot or whether you're doing cold. So it doesn't, either way could be done. I highly recommend always starting with a quick and warm press and then kind of fluctuating down from there. Because then you're going to identify what the oil is.
Yeah, we're usually pressing at 180.
Yeah, we're anywhere from 170 to 180.
Yeah,
depending on how
all
well.
you're doing is you're taking the slow and steady route to make sure that you do not melt off any of those THCVs early and prevent slipping, right? So, because you're more jeopardized to slip at a lower temperature. So at a hotter temperature, that resin will turn into rosin, and then it'll go through the filter, so it won't slip. If you apply pressure while it's still resin in there, you're pressing on grease, it slips.
Yeah.
So if you go hotter, you could go and get that press moved along.
And more efficiently.
And I'll show you the same color, I'll show you, and with ours dropping off of the plate's 100% water falling, you're doing 2 things. You're heating the plate, you're heating the oil because you're moving it slow, so it's sitting on behind the plate just as long as in between the plate for just as long, right? So it's ultimately, you're heating off or vaping off those high profile terpenes and flavonoids. So those 2 flavonoids and terpenes that was in yellow, those ones are off gassing because their melting point's at 110. So if you're at 180, you're ultimately vaping off of those. But when you fall straight down into the collection cavity, preserve those. So you're going to gain more terpenes and more flavonoids with this solid press. They are wide mouths though. You don't need a funnel or anything like that when you're filling these with the hash.
Nice.
There you go, Paige.
That boy seed.
Impossible right there. Yeah, fold that back. So you want to fold it over as tight as you can to be. So fold it over right here. Let me see. So right here.
You usually do about 4 50-gram bags.
for, that's a large press. So that's once you got the recipe really dialed down.
Okay.
And you're confident you're doing a full press. So
Confident
that's what this is replicating though, because of the height.
Gotcha.
But again, we're gonna do a safer recipe and program it
little
accordingly.
warmer.
Yeah, exactly. Just to prevent, it's still thinnest. Really, honestly, it's really thin. I wish we had 200 grams. This is good as oil. The better the oil, the more you could commit.
Yeah.
Because the oil will, as it's compressing, it will liquefy
The more melt.
and release.
Yeah.
But if it's not, it's more granular. What's going to happen? You're going to have a graham cracker in your bag,
Yeah.
and so it's going to prevent
Yeah.
it from compressing all of the way, which leaves your gutter open wider. So it's like pushing water out of a 2-inch pipe or pushing it out of a 1/4 inch. A 1/4 inch is going to shoot, right? So that's what we want. Is we want that speed. We want it to shoot. It's concrete folded like this, and all you're going to want to do.
Beautiful in the press.
It looks fire, man. Perfect. I really wish you had 4 bags. Now, 2 bags is more sensitive because it's less surface area. So that's all you do for that.
Oh wow.
That's it.
That's like.
You don't have to put
I
the.
hate folding papers.
So your objective here, bro, is to watch out for this corner here. So when you fold that over, you want to make sure before you fold it over, it's nice and flat like that. That's why our objective is to get this puck really flat. If it's here, it's gonna bulge up and cause like a double crease here, which this will have a little opening. It's like construction paper.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
fold it over, just
Pretty impressed.
So far, so good, honestly.
Yeah.
push this over and re-pinch here. Same here, pinch here to make sure it's safe, fold over, pinch here, pinch here. Now I'm gonna make sure that's in the back, and then see how that opens up. I can
Yeah.
open it up and slide it in like so.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of the technique to it. So then we're gonna calibrate the plates to these pouches. So here, we're gonna go, okay, that's 100, right? So our goal is to not clog these gutters. If this slides forward, it's gonna clog these gutters here. Stop it. So that's what we wanna prevent, because then it'll have nowhere to go but back, and you'll see oil leak out right here. Now you can always put, now again, on the other one, these ones aren't here, but you put a parchment paper sleeve here, and on this side, and it'll protect the heaters, and if you get a pop, it'll go on parchment. Put it in a 1/2 inch. So you can see them right there.
Kind of pushing down.
Yep. So we go 2-hand operation. You press here and go up here.